It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keith, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, happy Friday.
Yes, Tyler, thank you for inviting me again, giving me another opportunity, another day to be here. Every day I'm looking forward to waking up and just executing another show. What's going on, Tyler?
Yeah, show number 5 out of 5 for this weekend. We got to start and get right into it because we have some big news out of the city of Keego Harbor. Their police department announced some big news at their city council meeting on Thursday night. Let's get the reveal from Police Chief John Fitzgerald.
If you haven't heard about it, it has reached the right time to take off my badge and hang up my gun belt and my police hat. Spent 38 years in this profession, over 6 here at Keego Harbor, and with my wife retiring from her position, I think it's time for me to retire too and us to go enjoy what the next step is. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, I changed my mind. I'm staying. So tonight's not my goodbye, adios, Godspeed, or see you later. That's not tonight. I still am going to be around here at least till the end of May.
The chief joined the Keego Harbor Police Department officially as the chief of police in January of 2018 and took over after a period of some uncertainty in the police department. There were a number of years where Keego Harbor wasn't sure if it was going to continue operating its own police department and due to budgetary issues, and ultimately it was both demand from residents and from council itself working hard to maintain those funds that kept the police department alive. And then ultimately, as they brought in their new police chief in January of 2018, he came in and kept things running and even through some more tumultuous times, including the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Fitz will remain in his role through the end of May and gave his thanks to the community at their city council meeting for their support over the years. And, well, I think you'll see that thank you was returned. Let's take a look.
I just want to say it's been an honor serving the people living in, working in, and visiting Keego Harbor. It truly has been an honor to be here doing this. Like I said, it's not my goodbye yet, so I'll see you guys next month.
That was a big round of applause and much deserved for Chief John Fitzgerald of the city of Keego Harbor, announcing his retirement at the end of May and said he will be helpful as requested by the city council in finding a successor. Kevin, some big shoes to fill and a tough act to follow in Keego Harbor.
Yeah, I've actually had the pleasure of speaking with him on a few different occasions, and a great guy. You know, even though, like I said, I only spoke to him a few times, but I completely understand. You know, after you spend so much time doing something that you feel like is your calling, your service to the world, to the community, eventually it's time to hang it up and move on to the next chapter. And that's perfect timing that he said him and his wife retiring at the same time. That has to be a chapter you got to look forward to.
Yeah, 38 years in law enforcement, 6 and some change at the city of Keego Harbor after his retirement from the Southfield Police Department. And now he has a new job, having fun with his wife and his family and his friends and enjoying life each and every day free from work. Congratulations to Chief Fitzgerald. Hey, stop by the Keego Harbor Police Department during their open hours Monday through Thursday. If you see the chief throughout the community, give him your thanks and congratulations as well. And, of course, you'll see him back at City Hall in the month of May. Still plenty of time left for him on the job. Closer to home, right next door to us in West Bloomfield at the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Building, the Recreation Activity Center set to go on the ballot in August for a potential bond that would change the roughly 8,000 square foot building today into a 33,000 square foot facility for all different kinds of recreation across our community. West Bloomfield Parks earlier this week releasing some concepts of the new permanent location should this ballot initiative pass. Here's an exterior of what it would look like. The new building, much larger. You can see in the top right corner sort of the outline of the current building and all the additions with the flat white roof leading over to some of that green space between the Recreation Activity Center and the Circle Drive at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Other concepts shown include their gymnasium. Here's the lower level on civiccentertv.com. Basketball courts, some room for pickleball or racquetball, perhaps volleyball. Then the upstairs area, including that walking track so many have been asking for at this potential recreation space going forward. Plus, more nature exploration areas and learning opportunities. The expanded nature room also expected should this pass. And you can see all the pictures and learn even more information on the Facebook page of West Bloomfield Parks at WB Parks, or get all the details on what they're proposing on wbparks.org/bond. Kevin, these first pictures getting a little bit of insight on to what could potentially be coming at the Recreation Activity Center.
I'm glad you said potentially, Tyler, because as we both know, being tapped into the Metro Detroit area news, we know that the renderings of photos for what they have an idea for will not necessarily come out to be what it actually is. So those photos were very, very pretty, graphically designed speaking, but we'll see how it turns out if everything aligns the way they're anticipating.
Yeah, that will be on the August ballot. You can find more information before you make your informed vote in August, wbparks.org/bond. In the meantime, the fun continues at the current Recreation Activity Center as West Bloomfield Parks and the greater West Bloomfield community celebrates Earth Day. They had a big celebration out there earlier on this week. We sent reporter Jake Schaff out to learn more.
Well, Earth Day is just around the corner, but the fine people over at West Bloomfield Parks have decided to bust out the festivities a little bit early. Their annual Earth Day celebration took place this past Thursday, bringing families from all over the community together for some outdoorsy fun and some valuable tips to help keep the planet safe.
Today we're having our Earth Day event, and it's an event where kids and their families can come and engage at different stations to interact with earthy materials, recyclable materials. We have craft stations, and they'll be doing outdoor activities in our play area as well.
We got an outdoor nature play area where kids can make mud pies. We also have our nature room where kids can come see some animals that are native to Michigan. And we also do hikes, so we find some cool things out in the forest as well.
What are some of your favorite parts of this event?
You have a lot of people coming together, so you got a lot of families that maybe don't really necessarily interact on a daily basis. They can come here and everybody can have a fun time enjoying being outside and spending time together.
You know, it was a last spur-of-the-moment thing for us. We were very excited to come here, even though Earth Day takes place next week. About today, we learned a lot about the plants, how to seed, how to put them in the garden, when after they start sprouting to put them in.
How about your kids? Did they enjoy the event?
They had a great time. They actually took a lot of things home. There was more than 10 booths, and each booth they learned something, they did an activity, they took it home, and they're excited to put it in their home garden.
What are some of the most important lessons you're trying to teach the kids when they come here today for this celebration?
Really sort of the importance of the earth, sort of taking care of their environment. So rather than maybe spending a lot of time inside playing video games, that if they come outside they can find just as much fun in the woods as they can on a video screen. If you can start sort of spending time outside together at a young age, hopefully that's something that will continue for the life of the individual. And when those kids grow up, hopefully they'll take their kids outside as well too.
I think they can take away just the whole encompassed idea of saving our planet, of knowing the difference between plastic and recyclable items. They'll have a lot of opportunities to learn those things so that they can maybe practice better habits at home, like using water bottles, reusable water bottles instead of plastic bottles, and knowing how to recycle plastic trash bags, and knowing how to plant and engage with nature.
Let's hope all the families who came out today had an amazing experience. And if this looks fun to you, make sure you check out wbparks.org for even more events like this in the future, especially as the weather starts to get warmer and there's even more fun to be had outside. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Appreciate that, Jake. Thanks for the story out at West Bloomfield Parks, where they had a lot of fun at that event. They do every single year. The weather showed up for them. It was a beautiful day to celebrate our Earth at West Bloomfield Parks. And Kevin, plenty more of those sorts of opportunities are coming up. We know that there are some beautification events happening through West Bloomfield Township over the weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the program with Chief Greg Flynn from the West Bloomfield Fire Department and the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield. And Oakland County also holding an event at Lion Oaks Park on Monday in order to pick some of the garlic mustard and other invasive species. So plenty more opportunities to celebrate Earth Day here in the greater West Bloomfield community over the weekend. And again, as Jake had said in that story, wbparks.org for more information on West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation events. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more to get to. Stay with us. The show will be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. And Kevin, some of our local businesses have been serving us for a long time in one location. Others have moved around a bit, but have continued to serve the greater West Bloomfield area through the years. And one of those local businesses in a new location today, but still serving our local community.
Tyler, small and medium-sized businesses in our community are the backbone of the community. They help thrive and bring cash flow to our community and also establishes jobs and careers around our area. So it's great whenever we do have a new business or successful business around that is providing jobs. And we do have a new business that opened its doors in our West Bloomfield community. It's Art and Frame, and the owners are passionate about helping customers bring prized possessions to life and preserve. It was established in 1984 and proudly serving Southeast Michigan for 4 decades. Art and Frame has built a reputation for exceptional custom picture framing and design. And now in 2024, they're opening up their new location, or they opened up their new location here in West Bloomfield. We have a grand opening ribbon cutting we will be discussing. So joining us right now are the owners of the Art and Frame. We have owners Brad Gordon and Danielle Gordon joining the Splash Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So what we have here is a very unique business right here, and I love to support it. So I want you to go ahead and first give us the history of Art and Frame.
Sure. So like you mentioned, we've been around since 1984. I'm the third owner. And our initial location was behind the old Peabody's restaurant in downtown Birmingham. And about 7 years ago, we moved to the corner of Maple and Cranbrook, just outside of the Birmingham city limits in Bloomfield Hills. And with great success since we've taken over, we've decided to spread our wings and open our second location here in West Bloomfield at the Crosswinds Plaza at the corner of Orchard and Lone Pine.
Great to hear. Great to hear. So yeah, just giving us a little bit more context into the history of Art and Frame. But what about you two? How did you both get involved or get started in this very unique niche market and specific business?
Well, Brad, I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his background, but it really started when we had our daughter when she was about 6 months, and we were looking for some more flexibility in our lives, and we were both working and kind of realizing like, hey, starting a family is really, really hard. So Brad decided like, hey, you know what, maybe we should own our own business. So
Piggybacking off of that, you know, it's the what led me to the idea of entrepreneurship is you know, seeing other people have what seemed like more free time. Now that I'm in it, I realize that it's a little bit less free time, but
yeah,
when that time is, and that makes a world of difference. But what led me here is my educations in graphic design and sculpture and art history, and working. And after running a successful company for a while, I decided that I needed to be out for myself, and I spent a lot of time looking for businesses that were for sale, and checked every box and felt right, and haven't looked back since.
Okay, great way to, and very unique. You said you went to school for sculpting, graphic design, and sculpting and things. That's very nice, and interesting. Creative field. I love creative fields. So let's get into exactly what we're talking about. Art and Frame. It sounds like it's in the name, but I want you to explain. A couple quick bars right there. What services do you offer at Art and Frame?
Yeah, so we offer our services to both commercial and residential clients. We can frame extremely high volume. We can frame extremely large sizes. Also, are open to all of our residential clients. We do everything from 2D artworks to your family portraits and photos that were taken, to your heirlooms and three-dimensional trinkets you've collected, and your sports memorabilia.
So, on top of custom framing, we also do printing. So we can print any portraits or artwork onto different substrates. We also do design consultation. So Brad has a really good eye, and he can go into people's homes. Like, I have a blank wall, what do I do with it? And so he can help design. And yeah.
Yeah, and one of our favorite bests of this business is the ability to be creative. So not everything the store is a frame or needs a frame. It's about coming up with clever solutions for presentation. We do custom mirrors. We do fork boards and whiteboards. We frame televisions. So there really is no limit to the ability or creativity.
I love how it's an official upgrade of how I used to do it. I'm pretty sure a lot of teenagers remember this, just taking pages out of a magazine and just putting some duct tape on the wall or in your locker, and boom, that was your art. That was how it was right there. But now we're upgrading. We're taking a whole step further. This is, as you were explaining it, I'm thinking of that perfect man cave. I'm talking about jerseys folded up, photos, my favorite team, of course, the Lions. Oh my goodness. And you being there to set that up and make it look exactly how I want it to look, Brad. So thank you for explaining that. And join us right now, just to reset the show, Brad and Danielle Gordon, owners of Art and Frame, opening up their new location in West Bloomfield, and also celebrating 40 years in business. Also, congratulations. Can you just talk about some of the major projects or memorable moments throughout your time in business, please?
Yeah, kind of difficult, but I'd say some of the exciting opportunities have been working with our local but national sports teams, and working with a lot of the big companies in the area. And what really gives me pride in my business and our businesses is doing things that people entrust us with their things that they have so much sentimental value in.
Right.
Their items from lost loved ones, or their stuff from when their children were little that they're tired of keeping it in a box and they want to display it. Preserving memories, I think, is the part that I'm most proud of and what I enjoy most.
Nice.
Every project that someone brings in, or the majority of them, are special to them. So knowing that we get to take part in that is really very cool.
Yeah, we can all pretty much agree that if someone is looking to frame something, it means a lot to them. I mean, let's be honest. Like, even if it's your child's first drawing or report card, whatever the case, it means a lot. We want to put it in a frame. We want it to look nice, and this is something that that has a lot of value to us, and we want to kind of show that to everybody who comes to our establishment or place of residence. I want to kind of ask about what we're looking at now. For our listeners on 89.3, you can't see it, but on Civic Center TV, right here in front of us, right here. Yeah, what are we looking at right here exactly?
So this actually is a really cool example. It's from one of our glass vendors, but I don't know how well you can see it on your screens. But if you see, one side looks very clear and one side has a heavy glare to it.
Right.
They're both going to be UV protective, but one has better glare properties. So if you know that your artwork's going to be in a sunny room, or there's track lighting that's going to be right on it, and you want to make sure your art,
this is it.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
But this also is a good example of shadow box framing. What's inside of this frame is a three-dimensional origami, paper origami. And another cool thing is this allows me to tell you why it's important that we use UV protective glass. If you look at the back, that's how colors can fade over time if we can protect it. So we only put UV protective glass on all of our finished pieces. And then
here's one more that shows our acrylic.
The acrylic also comes in the same options of museum and UV protective. But what's better about the acrylic museum is
no static.
There's no static. It's scratch. So let's say you have a rec room in your basement and the kids are playing pool, and you don't want your pool cue to go into the artwork.
Yep, in the man cave. Yep.
Share.
Wow. That's some great information. And I'm so glad I asked about that. That is something that only experts like yourself would pretty much know and understand. The average person would just throw a regular glass, regular frame. And then I love that you showed me the difference that it makes with those older photos, because you see a lot of older photos that look like how it was with the sun affecting it and things of that nature. But now if you protect it the right way with the UV ray glass and things like that, it can preserve the color, the intensity, the nature, the vibrance of the picture a lot more. So thank you for showing that. Please continue.
A lot of the artwork that comes in was inherited, whether it's from parents or family or friends.
Right.
And these museum grade products weren't around when framing was being done, as 50 years ago. So
correct.
A lot of times people are just coming in to swap out their glass or to change out their mat board to something that's acid free, just to prevent further damage. It's not always about reframing it or starting anew, but protecting it.
And something that, I just recently came on board in this capacity as we opened our second location. And so something that I've seen that I really appreciate about my husband is that something that's really important to him is just sharing knowledge, right? Educating people about custom framing and about why we do it and what's important, because our generation doesn't necessarily know that, right? It seems
That's
like
correct.
as the older generation, isn't necessarily buying more artwork or investing in their homes as much. It's really important for us to know that. So, we're all about educating and getting information out there too.
And there's no question, like you said, that it's an investment, but when you really think about what we're doing, we're preserving something for a lifetime.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Hanging posters on your wall with duct tape, that's not so reversible. But everything we do is completely reversible and, will help whatever we're framing last for generations.
Absolutely. I can get immersed in this conversation and ask a lot more questions, but we're getting tight on time. I definitely appreciate your time. But real quick before we leave, Danielle, if you don't mind, give us more information on the grand opening again. And then right after her, Brad, if you don't mind, just give us more information on the location.
Yeah, so our grand opening at this store is going to be Wednesday, May 29th, starting at 4:30 p.m. We're going to have a ribbon cutting at 5 o'clock. There'll be champagne. There's going to be some hors d'oeuvres. We're very excited. The whole community is welcome. We're going to have Lori Tennant, who's a photographer. She will be here as well, doing some special things. So very excited about that. And it's an opportunity for you to see our space, which is also going to be available as an event venue too. We're going to be doing rentals here. So
yeah. So once again, we have this new beautiful space we can't wait to share with you. And if you can't make it to our grand opening, we're here 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday. And if you find yourself bored in the evening hours waiting for us to open, you can go on our website and see samples of our work. We have a digital design area where you can upload your own photos and play with mat boards and frame choices that are actually here in the store. So you can come in the next day and say, I picked this out on the website and that's what I want. So we've tried to make ourselves super accessible and helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Owners of Art and Frame in West Bloomfield with their grand opening, Brad and Danielle Gordon joining the Splash Live. Thank you again for your time. We appreciate you.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Tyler, you got to excuse me. I have so many great conversations with our guests. I get kind of immersed, but it's great information to give out to the community, Tyler.
It is, and it helps our community to get to know some of our business owners, our local shops and stores even more, and get some of that backstory as they're going in and shopping for frames for their artwork or for those special mementos, as Brad and Danielle talked about. All another good reason to have them on, and why we love talking to people. It's so interesting to get to know some of our local business owners. But Kevin, at this time also, it's interesting. It's another good way to get to know some people in our community is to get out to local events, especially those that help people in need. And we know all throughout the year that the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, is in need of blood donations to help their efforts in our communities and beyond.
No, absolutely, Tyler. And the Red Cross is a national organization, but they help out locally also. And then it takes people who want to get involved and want to get the Red Cross involved in their local community to actually get that type of thing started. And joining us right now are some organizers of the Sylvan Lake Red Cross Blood Drive organization. Joining us is Liz and Gabby Zubriski on the Splash Live. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, thanks, Kevin, for having us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I love talking about this because I'm kind of interested. I have a few questions already in my head, but I kind of want to just get first and foremost to what inspired you to organize this event.
Well, thanks again. Yeah, highlighting our upcoming event back in 2020, Midge Davidson and myself spearheaded the first Sylvan Lake Red Cross Blood Drive. And this will be our 4th annual this year. So we're very, very excited. Really, what spearheaded it was the need. We've been in a shortage. We continue to be in a shortage, both nationally and within our own state. And quite honestly, I've worked in healthcare 35 years. My daughter is in biology and just a new graduate of Michigan State. And we're trying to get the younger generation to kind of get a little bit more involved and seeing the benefits of donating blood.
Yeah, and being from that science background in college, I'm able to kind of help my mother and take over, which is pretty awesome to have a generational thing. But so myself and my friend Allison Fergan are now helping out this blood drive this year and sharing it with them.
Nice. And I'm currently not too far from Michigan State University, so I just, go green. Just had to throw that out
Go
there.
white.
Great job there. So we're doing something that's helping the community. I learned something while talking about this or doing research. Each pint of blood donated can save up to 3 lives. Some great information that what you would think would inspire and motivate people to get out and help. But from your perspective, how does hosting this blood drive contribute to building a sense of community in Sylvan Lake?
Well, it allows us to enable the opportunity for our community members to help out. The first thing is having access to the resources to even donate and getting the information out there. Because once you speak about it, people are like, oh, that might be interesting. That's how I got a few people to sign up just because they heard about it and never done it before. A lot of people are open to new ideas, so they like the idea of helping out someone's life, 3 people.
Right.
And exactly what you said, 1 pint can save 3 lives and touch multitude of, additional lives, family members of those people that have been saved. So it is really vital to our community. Michigan is still in a shortage. We are nationally coming out of, but we are having a really rough time getting the Red Cross shared with us. And Shannon Walters has been the person we've been connected with through the Red Cross, and shared that their numbers are down in donors. So we are really encouraging and highlighting this because we do need people to come out and donate. If you're a healthy human, please consider it. It's very necessary, very vital, and very needed to our healthcare system, especially coming into the summer months. We tend to need it more.
No, that's a fact. Join us again right now, Liz and Gabby Zubrisky, organizers of the Sylvan Lake Red Cross Blood Drive that will be happening later on this month at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Super random question, right? Okay, so I used to donate blood when I was interning at a corporation, and they would have the Red Cross come there. And I was just young, and they would say, hey, you want to donate blood? I was like, all right, whatever. I don't care, as long as it don't hurt. And I started to do it like every year or however often they came there. If I'm not mistaken, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I learned my blood type from donating blood from that event. Is that true? Can you learn your blood type from that?
Actually, that is true. Yes, you will get a response and you can find out. And you are correct. A lot of people do not know their blood type. So that would be an amazing, great reason to come out and also donate blood, because that's very much truth. That's a great point. Yes. And just so people know, literally, we have 27,000 hospitals that the Red Cross funnels the blood to. So it really is an important organization. And, the fact that we can do a blood drive yearly, we are a community within Oakland County that's a very strong community, phenomenal people, and we do multitude of different services, but Sylvan Lake has a very strong reputation for wanting to help others and help each other. And so we welcome everybody in our surrounding communities to come and join. We still have about 25 slots open, and we welcome you to go to the website if you wish, or you can go to redcrossblood.org. And if you use the code Sylvan Community, it will take you right to where you can select a slot and a time to come in. And we welcome you to come. If you are technology challenged, you are more than welcome to call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Technology. I like that one right there. Okay, just kind of wrapping up and kind of moving forward. I want to kind of put a bow on this. And lastly, what message would you like to convey to the individuals who are considering donating blood? And then Gabrielle, I want you to answer that. And then Liz, I want you to just give the last details about the event in general.
Well, if you donate blood, there's snacks after, for one.
This is
Yeah.
true.
And it's also nice, you can come and meet other people who are also giving blood just like yourself, and then when you can find similar interests, it's always fun. I remember being there last year and just talking to people because they need distraction. So you find so much out about people, and people have great stories to share when they're just sitting there with donating to help save other lives. So, and then get a cookie.
Right. It is not difficult to give blood. A lot of people are, worried about, the safety and everything. It's very, very safe. There is a lot of distraction. The Red Cross is a phenomenal crew of people that have aligned with the Sylvan Lake residents that volunteer. And so we are very, serious about making an impact and very proud of what we've accomplished. But it is at our Sylvan Lake Community Center, and that's at 2456 Pontiac Drive in Sylvan Lake. It is Friday, April 26th from 10 until 4. And they do prefer if you have a slot, but we welcome you to come in, and we would love for you to come and donate.
Absolutely. Go to that website if you can. Just go ahead and reserve the spot in advance, and then find out what your blood type is. I found out I'm O negative. I can give to almost anyone, but I can't receive all blood if I'm not mistaken. So that was very unique. So thank you again for your time, Gabrielle and Liz Zabriskie on the Splash Live, talking about the Red Cross Blood Drive in Sylvan Lake this month. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tyler, I'm having fun talking to people in our community, just talking about different things that I can connect with, the community can connect with. But once again, it's our job to tell our community in Greater West Bloomfield what's going on.
And yes, you can, as you said, you can find out your blood type if that's something that you're not familiar with, and they may even give you a card. I remember I donated blood way back in high school. It was the first time I donated blood my senior year of high school, and they gave me a Red Cross card. I have that in my wallet. Dug that out when you mentioned that on the program earlier on today. So sylvanlake.org to find more information on events happening at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. You can also go to redcrossblood.org to learn more about blood donation opportunities, both in the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan, all throughout the Greater West Bloomfield area, and of course, all across the state of Michigan as well. redcrossblood.org. We are inching closer and closer to the day where we dedicate our time and our energy to thank our local volunteers. And during Volunteer Awareness Month here in April, we also want to give them an opportunity to get their thanks and their due recognition as well. Of course, the way we do that each and every year is at the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast, where we recognize and award our volunteers for their service to our community. Joining us to talk about this year's event and Michigan Week in general is the Michigan Week Committee co-chair, Carol Hack, with us on the Splash Live. Carol, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you for asking us and recognizing Michigan Week on your Splash program. And
yeah, we're glad to have you on. We're always happy to play a big part in Michigan Week each and every year. This year's event is happening on Friday, May 10th at 7 o'clock a.m. Bright and early, gets all the volunteers in there before they begin their busy day on Friday to thank them. It'll once again be at Temple Israel on Walnut Lake Road, and of course, will be broadcast here on Civic Center TV. Carol, you've been involved with Michigan Week for a number of years as one of the critical organizers behind this event on the Michigan Week Committee. For those that aren't familiar, what is this celebration? What are the origins of this event in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, in Greater West Bloomfield, it goes back, this is our 52nd breakfast. So back in 1972, Jack Freed and Jeff Lieb got together and decided to bring Michigan Week and make it special in the Greater West Bloomfield area. So to find more about that, you can go to michiganweek.org and watch the interview that probably Civic Center TV did with Jack and Jeff. But to be real brief, Don Weeks, a former state of Michigan Economic Development Director, launched the tradition of quote unquote Michigan Week on May 2nd in 1954. And his vision was to bring communities together like business, labor, government, education under one banner to promote Michigan. This idea became an annual event every May so that Michiganders could beat their drums for the state and to promote Michigan to the rest of the country because we have lots to offer here. I think Michigan's a pretty good place to be. We have lots to offer with the waterways and our parks, and it's just beautiful, Michigan. But that also was the year that the Mackinac Bridge was completed. So that was a huge event for our state at the time. So to learn more about Don Weeks and how all of this got started, because that would take me an hour, go to michiganweek.org. You'll see a picture of Don Weeks, and you can click on that, and you can find out everything that was involved in getting Michigan Week to be Michigan Week, quote unquote.
And Carol, here in the greater West Bloomfield area, the way that we celebrate Michigan Week, and as we have for the last 52 years, has been that awards breakfast in May in the morning every single year. And we recognize our volunteers, we provide them awards. And it's interesting because a lot of these people are giving their time, their energy, their treasure, their skill set to their community in a variety of ways. They're not seeking that sort of awarding, but as we recognize National Volunteer Month in April, go out from that and into Michigan Week Month in May, where we celebrate in our community. Why is it important for us to recognize our volunteers in this way?
Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, people who volunteer their time to whatever their desires are should be felt valued by the community. So that's a big reason why we get together 300 people to recognize all these wonderful people that we have in this community. But that's not the real reason they volunteer. They do it because it comes from their heart, because they want to help others who are in need. There are lots of different kinds of needs. We have food banks, we have clothes distribution centers, but there are other opportunities. You can mentor, be a big brother or a big sister to a student who may need a little bit of companionship. We all know about those kids that are hanging around and need something more when they're in their school day and in their environment. So we have students that help those children. It does not always have to be organized driven. So like I said, it could be an individual child, it could be an individual adult who will come into the schools and read to the children. Rotary Club does that on a consistent basis, but the PTOs do that too. So those people can also be recognized. And it can be any idea that an individual has that he or she feels helps the greater good of another person or another organization.
Carol Hack is with us. She is the Michigan Week Committee co-chair here in Greater West Bloomfield as we get ready for the 52nd annual Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast Friday, May 10th, 7 a.m. at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, and of course broadcast live right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And you mentioned, Carol, that this event recognizes volunteers from West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, Sylvan Lake, all of our connected school districts here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. And so it branches out to so many areas of the community. And in that sense, how does something like this event help to further foster that sense of community we have in Greater West Bloomfield and amongst our neighbors?
Well, I think when you have been nominated and you come to a breakfast to be recognized in front of your community, it fills your heart with gratitude to know that you've helped in some small or large way to bring joy to another. That in itself fosters community and unity among the people around you. And it may encourage others to do the same thing. So like you said, Greater West Bloomfield encompasses West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, the school districts of West Bloomfield and Walled Lake and Bloomfield Hills. So all that combination is a huge community. And when we all get together to recognize the people that have done wonderful things in all of those different areas, in the schools, in the churches, in our government. That's what it's all about. It's letting those people know that we appreciate what they've done.
More information can be found on MichiganWeek.org, including ways that you can get involved in this year's event and in the future as well. And of course, you can learn even more about the storied history of this event here in the greater West Bloomfield area. Carol Hack is with us, Michigan Week Committee co-chair, as they get ready for the day coming up, the big day, just a couple weeks away, Friday, May 10th, 2024, 7 o'clock a.m. at Temple Israel. You can also follow them on Facebook, facebook.com/GWB. MW. And Carol, you've been involved in this event for a long time. You've been one of the committee co-chairs for a number of years as well. There's so many memorable moments that we've had at these events. What are some of your favorites or ones that stand out to you over the years?
Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer because there's not just one moment. There's not just one breakfast. Every year's special. Every year's different. And when you see the faces of the volunteers receive their awards, that says it all, actually. When we're on the stage or when we're, some of us are, some of us aren't, but you see them walk up and receive their award, especially when they've invited their whole family. Sometimes they invite friends, they invite neighbors. That's always a memorable moment for everyone in the room, especially when there's grandparents there. That's the kind of the icing on the cake when a grandparent is invited to watch their little fourth grader get an award in front of 300 people in a community this size and to be recognized for something that their little one has been involved with. But it makes no difference, young or old, just the fact that you're recognizing this person for being the person that they are and giving back what they have in their hearts to the community.
And Carol, we've talked a little bit about what you hope the impact of something like this is for our volunteers and hopefully showing them that what they're doing is being recognized, is being appreciated, not just by those they're immediately impacting, but by the greater community. And so on that note, when the community watches this event on Civic Center TV, listens on Lakes FM, when they attend on Friday, May 10th, those that aren't being awarded, that are just there to take in the festivities, what do you hope that they leave that event with?
Oh, well, I hope they leave that event with a sense of the ones who have won an award, fulfillment, that they have done something in the community, in their own lives, that they, if they're a young person, they can continue to do. And if they're an older person, you can continue to volunteer until you're in your 80s. So I believe everyone, whether you won an award that morning or you're just a participant watching, and we have people who come in our government, in our different departments every year. They don't have anything to do with it. They've not nominated anybody. They just come to support their community people that they know are making West Bloomfield the greater West Bloomfield area.
More information on the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast can be found on MichiganWeek.org. We're joined by Carol Hack, committee co-chair for the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast, as we approach the day of the event in 2024, Friday, May 10th, 7 o'clock a.m. at Temple Israel. Carol, if people do want to get involved now or in the future, what are some ways that they can get involved with Michigan Week, with this committee, and, of course, with the celebration?
They can go to any one of us at the breakfast that morning, and we will all be wearing, we have a theme every year, and every year we try to dress according to the theme. So this year the theme is Volunteers Make the World Go Round. And we will all have on a circle scarf. I don't know what you call those things. I don't wear scarves. But it will have flags. Every flag of the world will be on these scarves. And most of us will be wearing one. So if you want to volunteer, which has happened in the past to me, where somebody has walked up to me and said, wow, this was a great event. My neighbor, this happened one year, my neighbor invited me to come watch them. I want to get involved. And so I then get in touch with them, or Pam gets in touch with them, or any one of us on the group, and invite them to come to the first meeting and we try to give them a purpose, ask them to join one of the subcommittees. And you can also go to michiganweek.org, hit contact us, send us a note. It'll go to Gmail, and one of us can answer you. However, probably the best way that people try to join us is come right up to us after the breakfast and say, this was a wonderful experience. I want to join your group. Or also, if you've been awarded, a lot of awardees will say, this was the best morning I've had. Can I be part of it?
And you can get involved and learn more information about the ways you can get involved in this and be part of it at michiganweek.org. Carol, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me and bringing this to light.
Appreciate it. Friday, May 10th, 7 o'clock a.m. Join us at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We will have live coverage of the Michigan Week Community Awards breakfast. And Kevin will probably talk to a lot of those people on this show afterward also to get even more stories about our dedicated volunteers and all the interesting projects they're doing across our 4 communities and 3 of our many school districts here in the greater West Bloomfield community.
Okay, Tyler, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was trying to Google it real quick, but I believe Saturday is National Volunteer Recognition Day or something like that. So it falls right in line with the time. So, but I 100% agree. It is a great thing to acknowledge those who volunteered their time. We are all adults, first and foremost. We have lives, we have work, socialize, maybe kids that we have to deal with. So to take that extra time that you have to volunteer means a lot. So to recognize those individuals in the community is a great honor to do that. And kudos to Carol for that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that we've talked about recently. We had a conversation with the West Bloomfield Township Clerk, Debbie Binder, recently about 2 of our dedicated volunteers who are no longer with us, and Bob Mellon, who the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield now has a scholarship named after, and the late Sherry Ann Winter, who we lost suddenly in late February, who was part of our West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, spearheaded the Black Expo and so much more. And a lot of the similarities that we heard in their descriptions, we hear from so many of our volunteers, and so we recognize them with our friends at the Michigan Week Community Awards Committee on Friday, May 10th, 7 o'clock a.m. Again, Civic Center TV, civiccentertv.com, 89.3 Lakes FM, and throughout our social media as well. Kevin, you mentioned National Volunteer Day coming up. We're in National Volunteer Month. Today is National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day. We've talked a lot this week about the fentanyl crisis. We've had extended coverage from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, from the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, and their partnership with other local organizations and stakeholders on this issue. A critical part of that is getting rid of medicines that are in your home that are no longer necessary to be there, because whether it's yourself, it's a family member, or it's somebody you've invited into your home, exploration can happen, experimentation can happen, and that can lead to dangerous situations down the line. It's a good reminder that you have options to safely get rid of your unused or your expired medications in our community. Many of our local police departments will take place next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, Saturday, April 27th, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the DEA's National Drug Take Back event. That includes the Orchard Lake Police Department, whose Chief Jeffrey Gomez joined you earlier on this week, joined us here on The Splash, to explain why Orchard Lake Police why Orchard Lake's police is participating in this event.
The goal of this is to keep medications out of the hands of children or people that are not prescribed this medication. As many are aware that we have a nationwide or even a global opioid crisis going on. And if we can prevent just one person from going down that path, then I find it to be a successful program.
And that's what's so critical about that, Kevin, is it's reducing the numbers one by one. Chief Patton from the West Bloomfield Police Department said at the panel with Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital and the coalition earlier on this week that they count their number of reduced drug overdoses or drug misuse issues one by one. They don't count them in bulk numbers. One is a success. The next one is a success. The one after that is a success, and this plays a big role. So that drug take-back event with the DEA, Saturday, April 27th, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at police departments, including the Orchard Lake Police Department. But in addition, our local police, including Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, all have participated in Operation Medicine Cabinet. That allows free drop-off at your local police stations all year round of your medications. There are rules that are posted on those cabinets as you walk in to the police department. Our local police that are serving you at those desks, whether it's our police service aides at West Bloomfield Township or officers on duty at Keego Harbor and Orchard Lakes Police Department headquarters, they will help you through this process to get rid of these medications. Chief Gomez from Orchard Lake also mentioned this as a critical part of their drug misuse prevention efforts in the city of Orchard Lake Village. Here's what he had to say.
We want to be convenient here in the area, not only serving just residents of Orchard Lake, but we would take medications from the surrounding areas, greater West Bloomfield area. Anybody that wanted to stop by. And I also wanted to point out that we have a drop box in our lobby that's available during business hours anytime. So not just during this event, anytime during the year, we can accept medications.
And that's the critical part about that. Operation Medicine Cabinet is convenient. It's located in our community. And as Chief Gomez said, Kevin, you don't have to be a resident of Orchard Lake to go stop in at their police department headquarters and drop off these medications. And that goes for all of these communities. Heck, a few years ago, I had dropped off some medication at the West Bloomfield Police Department's Operation Medicine Cabinet after I had well beyond since moved out of the local area and am now a resident in western Oakland County. So it's convenient, and it's really important if you have those medications that you find a safe way to get rid of them.
As someone who moved a lot frequently, especially in my younger years, I used to just grab things, even not even check the expiration date or whether I still use it. Just put it in the box and keep it moving. And with that, you'll take those things like your medicines in your medicine cabinet and just take it to the next house or residence without even checking to see if you still use it, if it's expired, whatever the case may be. So this is a great opportunity to do things like that in your household. So I'm sorry, Mama. Never meant to hurt you or make you cry, but today we're cleaning out the medicine cabinet. I've been waiting for the moment to say that, Tyler. I'm glad you let me stop.
Well,
Don't
I appreciate you bringing that on to us. Original lyrics, definitely not plagiarized. Eminem, do not come after us here on the Splash Live. That was unsanctioned lyrics from Kevin McIntosh about Operation Medicine Cabinet. You can learn more information by visiting your local police department here in the greater West Bloomfield community, all of which participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet. And again, the drug take-back event with the Drug Enforcement Agency, partnered with our local police departments, is Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Happening this weekend on Saturday, a cleanup event across one of the major thoroughfares here in the greater West Bloomfield area. Orchard Lake Road from Pontiac Trail to Walnut Lake will be taken over by the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield in their cleanup efforts at their 2024 Adopt a Road Spring Cleanup event. We talked to Chief Greg Flynn about this earlier on the Splash just a couple weeks ago leading up to this event. You can learn more about it on civiccentertv.com. Bring gloves, bring appropriate attire to be kind of in the brush and cleaning up trash off the side of the road as we embrace the outdoors this season. Rain or shine, this event will happen. If there is inclement weather, they do have a rain date, which will be the next Saturday over. But each year, civic-minded volunteers have collected more than 60,000 bags of trash from Michigan's roadsides. And hey, that's one of our most busiest areas in all four of our communities. A great opportunity for you to check that out. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. That's show number 5 out of 5 for this week. We're done. We got to get out of here. For our entire team, Jake Schaff, Calvin Brown, Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Keefe. Thanks for tuning in to the Splash Live.